Well, Mr. Gerry Carroll.
Mr. Speaker, having met the families last week, would the First Minister agree with me that the families of the Ballymurphy Massacre, who have been campaigning since 1971 for justice, have the right to justice for their families, and would her office do all that they can to assist them in their pursuit for truth and justice?
And indeed, there are many families right across Northern Ireland who still pursue truth and justice. I think it's one of the saddest indictments on society in Northern Ireland that so many people who had loved ones cut away and murdered, that they will never be able to have justice and closure. I spent some time with families yesterday in Killen, in Castlederg, people who lost loved ones to terrorism along the Tyrone border, and my message to them then was this: I will not allow the past to be rewritten, and that of which I am very, very clear on. There are some attempts to do that, and I will not countenance it.
Mr. Carroll for supplementary.
The First Minister for her response. And Mr. Speaker, the Ballymurphy families have been campaigning for justice for over 40 years since the massacre was committed, and 11 innocent victims were shot down over a 3-day period in cold blood by the state, and their families have yet to receive any recognition of the atrocities committed at the hands of the state, or indeed any legal redress for the crimes carried out. And the years of grief and suffering for the families are a shocking indictment of a state which has sought
Mr.
to
Carroll,
wipe its
could you
hands
come
clean.
to a question?
And I'd just like to ask the First Minister, would she support the call for an independent international investigation examining the circumstances surrounding all these deaths? Thank you.
Well, of course, the dealing with the past part of the Fresh Start is something that we regret was not able to be taken forward at that time. We are engaged in trying to move that forward. I am hopeful that we will be able to move that forward, and then all victims, and indeed those who have suffered in very real and tangible way, will be able to get closure in relation to their issues.
Time is up. We now move on to questions to the Minister for Infrastructure.